Okay, y'all. Come close. Come close. Have you ever wanted a Sony A7S III, one of the best mirrorless cameras on the market, but look like you have over 1,000 confirmed kills? Because here comes the Sony FX3. So basically, in my mind, all it really is a Sony A7S III in a new body that you could hand to maybe a cinematographer and not feel like a dingus, not feel like you're handing them a point and shoot. Really, the only... it's really... So, when the A7S III came out, the only big things that I heard that were different were that maybe it had different function buttons, it just had a couple of different creature comforts, and now they're just like, hey, we were... the Sony FX6 is already a Sony A7S III with the good stuff that a cinematographer wants, like a beautiful variable ND filter, like full-size XLR ports, stuff that you really want in like a cinematographical camera, you know, stuff that is taking this sensor that's amazing as crazy low light and putting it into an actual like camera body. The problem here, in my mind, is that this is supposed to be the in-between, because the FX6 is like $6,000, while the Sony A7 III is $3,500. Here's the middle child that's only like, I think it's like $3,900. So for a couple hundred more dollars, you basically get the A7S III with like a few more buttons. That's really all that I hear coming out of this. It really has the same kind of stuff, 10 megapixel, the same ISO, dynamic range, S-Log 3. Yeah, it's got the other thing that I see that's different. The only other thing that I see that's different from the spec sheet is the fact that it is S-Cinetone. The same kind of, like, it'll match an FX6 and an FX9 and a Venice better. But that seems to be all you're getting for a couple $100, which isn't bad. Like, the fact that they have the same name means that they're meant to be used together. So I get why you might want this over the A7S III, because you want to actually match with bigger cameras. But the thing that I find so weird about it is for them to, like, everybody's pumping out so many cameras now, and a lot of them are just like updates to their previous cameras. So here's another update, and it's great. I mean, the A7S III is one of the best cameras on the market, but here's one that looks like it's ready to tactical nuke a frickin' airfield. So, like, I mean, that's about it. Like, there's not really too much more to talk about, because it does the 4K at 120 FPS. It does full HD at 240 FPS, has same color depth and color space. Like, there's really not too much else to it. I mean, there's not too much that I really need to say. And I really do wish that the FX6 and some of these cameras had a better feature for, and I talk about this in every camera like talk that we have, a reaction, that I really wish more of these cameras had something that was a more uncompressed codec. Because what we're seeing here with the H.265 and H.264 is, like I say all the time, those will destroy your computer, because your computer really needs to like uncompress them in the moment. Well, if you have something raw, then you can actually do that. Like, your computer doesn't need to uncompress them. It's just going to read what's happening. So like I said in our Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K Pro, Jesus, they're coming out with these names are ridiculous. But what I said in that video is that you really have the two different sides of things. I talked to a lot of people that do live streams and that work on like productions just like in the day-to-day, and they really rely on Sony, because Sony has incredible autofocus, and their in-body image stabilization is amazing, and their low light. Like, this has crazy good low light. So that's one side to get you all those cool things that will make run and gun videography really great. Then you have Blackmagic. So there's Sony and Blackmagic, because Blackmagic is giving you raw. Oh my God. Raw is, it sends shivers down my spine talking about it, because it gets you so much room to play, and it is so light on your computer. And that's about it. It doesn't get you too much else. Like I said, now we have ND filters with the 6K Pro. That's really it. You pick between these same kind of price range for getting all of the cool run and gun features, or raw. That's about it. You can either be a cinematographer or you could be a live streamer, one or the other. But it really becomes that. And right now we're just seeing the place where they're trying to like fill the gap between people that are using the FX6, FX9, and the Venice, and getting those cool features that you have in the A7S III. Though I still feel like the FX6 is basically that, with more features that I would want if I was on a film set. But it's not $3,900. It's not closer to $4,000 than the $6,000 you got to pay for the FX6. So, yeah, as you look through, full frame, beautiful. It's got the eye autofocus. It's pretty. The one thing that I do here and that I don't love is the fact that apparently this is missing a few features that the FX6 have. Like right here, it has a focal plane with phase autofocus, the same as the FX6, and it features IAF in video mode, and it only supports human eyes. I know that the FX6 and the A7S III have a slightly different, like they have different eye tracking. So I've heard that this is actually like, there are a few features that are either missing or they're kind of nerfed in this camera versus the A7S III and the FX6, but it's definitely just trying to be on the same plane as the FX6, FX9, and the Venice. So yeah, they asked what the difference was really, and it's the standpoint of technology, perhaps. From the standpoint of usability, we think that they're very different. Yeah, so the technology is apparently very, very same, if not like the exact same, but the usability is different. This one also has a fan, like a built-in fan that's apparently very quiet. So it makes it like, even though the A7S III was prone to overheating, but like if you put it in a, like if you weren't in the desert, apparently it actually had like a really good cooling system, but this one has like a straight up big boy fan, so that helps. And yeah, I mean, like I said, like look how cute this is. Look at that. Holding the frickin', I mean, seriously, this grip makes way more sense on the FX6 than the FX3. Like this just looks like weirdly balanced because you're balancing on the two sides of it, so like this can just kind of like wobble any which way. It looks pretty funny, but like I said, it's about the same. Like you're getting the same features that you get out of the A7S III with these dual card slots. So you get two cards, takes both SD card and the cool like CFast, I think it's like CF Express cards. So a lot of those same features, it looks like way more buttons. And something that I love, because I use these kind of lenses all the time, is a tilt and wide rocker. So if you have a lens that can actually have a servo in it that zooms like in and out, then you actually have a rocker that allows you to zoom in and out without having to touch the lens, which I love because we've been on shoots where we built out the camera and then been like, well, now I can't touch the rocker. I can't like use one of the features that makes us like a really good broadcast camera. So it's good to have that on the body. It has that full-size HDMI. Literally, like I actually just was meeting with a friend and he was using some of our cameras on a shoot, and micro HDMI is such hot garbage because it's, from a usability standpoint, it's awful. From a technology standpoint, super cool because you get an HDMI that can fit in a smaller space, but it breaks so badly. The one bad thing people learned from the micro USB era is that people started making the port strong, but the cable weak. And the problem with that is it'll break off and then you're out a cable. It's nice because your port stays intact, so your camera will be fine. You don't have to worry about the micro HDMI port, but you'll have a bunch of broken micro HDMI cables, and I hate it. And you have to replace them so often. So having a full-size HDMI will save you so much headache if you go to a shoot with only one micro HDMI cable, and then a breaky, and now you achy. It's not good. So there's that. We have the full-size XLR if you have this attachment, which I really like. I do like that some of this like actual big boy accessories just work with this. That makes a bit more sense. Yeah, USB Type-C, my favorite. See, USB Type-C and full-size HDMI solve those problems from micro USB and micro HDMI. They actually are just stronger connections and have higher data output. So all this beautiful stuff. Look at it, 4K 60 FPS. Everybody loves it. Endless, so there's no record limit. Love that. Apparently they shot for 13 hours. Oh my goodness. Yes, please. 13 hours of 4K at 60 FPS. And something that we talked about in our A7S III video, go watch it, please, is that you might be able to hot swap. No, you can. You can hot swap your SD cards. So if you are recording for 13 hours, you start with one SD card in the first port, and then once that's expended, it'll tell you, like, hey, first SD card's gone, now we're switching to the second SD card slot, and then you switch it out and you just keep cycling and you're good to go. It's amazing. I love it. And yeah, after that, really the only other thing to mention is right here, which is the price point, which is $3,900. So though it is a little bit more expensive than the A7S III, I could see people's use for it, but I really feel like you're really going to be deciding between the A7S III and the FX6, because the FX6 has a beautiful ND filter, but this one is getting you a lot of that stuff that you love from the A7S III, but just you look like you're ready for battle. So I do like it, but I feel like there's only like very specific use cases for people. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this FX6, if you'll pick one up, and I'll see you when the next camera drops, which like they're dropping them every week now. I don't even know what to do. There's so many cameras out right now. I don't have that much money to buy all of them. Okay, bye.